And the ad is over. If you're listening to this through one of the formats that has an ad at the beginning of my show. If not, welcome to Velvet Owl Watches Movies so you don't have to. Last week I watched Hamburger The Motion Picture, so this week I'm watching Hot Dog The Movie. And who knows, maybe next week I'll find French Fries The Series. I don't think that exists, but Hot Dog The Movie does exist. Unlike Hamburger The Motion Picture, I don't think this has to do with hot dogs. I think it's a skiing movie. I don't know, in skiing, is there a move called the hot dog? Ironically, because I'm watching this on YouTube, because it's the only place I could find it, it starts off with a sign that says, the film has been modified to fit your TV, but for some reason, the sides are cut off, so it's not even formatted to fit my TV. It's just, yeah, it's like the actual like text is cut off. So I'm imagining it's so that, that whole YouTube thing where they do wacky things with the screen so that it doesn't get caught by the copyright law police. But I can't imagine like someone really wants to claim copyright on Hot Dog the movie. But apparently I think they have. So enough with this rambling introduction. Let's watch Hot Dog, the movie. So we start off with a pretty Aryan boy. Yeah, I don't think racism is really gonna come into play in this film, but he looks like the perfect Aryan boy, blonde hair, blue eyes, just handsome. But maybe I should just call him Pretty Boy. Let's not make this, political. But he's preparing, and he's got his gear all set up, and he goes skiing while we get a totally badass 80s song. Actually, not badass. It's kind of like what Glenn Frey was doing in the 80s. But not nearly as catchy as the Hamburger The Motion Picture theme song. But it's perfectly 80s. And not only is the sides of this video cut off, it looks like the top and bottom is cut off as well. I mean, at least with the sides, it's got the black bars. So it's making it really annoying to watch the credits. But I guess as long as there isn't a lot of on-screen text in this film, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But Shannon Tweed is in this movie, and that's exciting because that means titties. Unless this is one of the 3 films she's made where she doesn't show her titties. In which case, I will be very sad. And this might have been taped off of TV. So if that's the case, they probably cut out her titties. Which is also a damn shame. That's like a crime against humanity to cut out Shannon Tweed nude scenes out of Shannon Tweed movies. Because really, why are you watching a Shannon Tweed movie if not to see her titties? And she knows this. So, she knows where her moneymaker is. So that's why she gives us her titties in every film. And if she's okay with it, I'm okay with it. So, here's hoping. I've got my fingers crossed. So, Pretty Boy, he stops to get directions. Apparently, he's driving to San Francisco in his old beat-up truck. And then he sees this pretty girl get thrown out of a van. And apparently, she got thrown out because she wouldn't go down on the guy. Which is actually, was my guess for why she got thrown out. So, but, I mean, good for her for sticking to her guns. You're hitchhiking, just because a guy's nice enough to give you the ride, that doesn't mean that he should expect to get a blowjob in return. So good for Pretty Girl. Do not blow strange guys for a ride. I don't believe in the ass, gas, or grass. Gas or grass, that's it. You pay for gas, or you give them some drugs. The ass, I don't think that's necessary. But, so, she calls the pretty boy Chad, which would have been my guess for what his name was, but apparently it's not really Chad. So I'm just going back to calling him Pretty Boy. Or, you know what, I'm sticking with Chad. I think he looks like a Chad to me. So I don't care what his actual name is. Plus, I kind of missed his name and I've already forgotten it. So he's Chad. Chad's willing to give her a ride. And she's already put up front that she's not going down on guys for rides, and he still gives her a ride because he is a nice guy. Go Chad. So they're doing some small talk on their drive. Apparently she's run away from home, and she's not quite 18. She's going to turn 18 in a few months. So Chad, definitely do not go for a blowjob. There's laws. So, but you're a good guy. I can sense you're a good guy. So you're not going to try to get a blowjob from a 17-year-old girl. Because I don't know how old you're supposed to be, but you look like you're in your 30s. Which means you could be 18. Because it's the 80s, and they loved casting like 30-year-olds as teenagers. What can I say? There was a lot of cocaine back then. One thing I am upset about, though, is that, Chad's listening to country, and the pretty girl, she's like, who I'm now calling Runaway. I like Runaway better than Pretty Girl. So the Runaway, she doesn't like country music, so she changes the station to some generic 80s bland rock. But you're not giving ass gas or grass, so you don't have the right to change the station. The driver chooses tunes. That's just the way it goes. But, if you're giving ass, if you were giving them a blowjob, which you totally shouldn't, because, that would get Chad in a lot of trouble, because you're not 18. But, you got to give something up. You're not paying for gas, and you're going to decide you're going to choose the tunes. That's just wrong. But, Chad starts talking about, all his ski stuff, because he's got his ski equipment. And now that I think about it, does San Francisco have, like, a skiing section? Is it ski country out there? I would imagine, like, it's just too nice of a area. Like, they'd have to, like, build fake snow. Like, are there mountains? I don't know. But I guess they're gonna go to San Francisco to ski. They pull into a motel, and they have to share a room because, Chad's not going to pay for a second room for her. And she's not willing to sleep in the truck. And, of course, Chad's not going to sleep in the truck because, there's limits to being a nice guy. And, if you're paying for the motel room, fuck that, you're taking the bed. But they decide they're going to share the bed, and nothing bad happens. It's purely chase. Because Chad, again, is a nice guy. I'm rooting for him. I almost want to change his name now. Because he's a nice guy. But I've stuck with Chad. We're going with it. The next day, they do some more driving, and Runaway is wondering why Chad didn't try anything on her last night. And Chad doesn't really give her an answer, but I'm thinking it's because she's fucking underage. Just a thought. She's not quite 18. I don't know. I mean, things were looser back in the 80s. Plus, Chad's just a fucking nice guy, He's not gonna put the moves on her. Then they get to their next motel, and no one's at the counter, so they're ringing the buzzer and ringing and no one's coming. Because the clerk, she's in the hot tub right now, getting eaten out. And we got titties! This film passes the Velvet Owl test. Titties within 10 minutes. I mean, the test is like 15 minutes, but I'm just saying it's been under 10 minutes. So, she goes to the front counter, not bothering to put on any clothes, just puts a towel around her hair. Because, God forbid, her wet hair just gets dripping all over the place. But completely fine to be just buck naked. So, I don't know where this motel is, but if I'm ever traveling down San Francisco way, I'm going to stop at this motel. Granted, by this point, 30 years later, I don't think Naked Woman is going to be working the counter anymore. But who knows? Maybe another Naked Woman is working. I love 80s movies when just there's titties for no reason. Gratuitous titties are the best kind of titties. It's a really nice motel room. Got a water bed and a heart-shaped hot tub, because this is a motel room for getting it on. Oh, yeah. Now it just needs some pudding. State reference there. I couldn't remember the full quote, so whatever. So, where was I going with that? Anyhow, Chad takes Runaway to a fancy restaurant, because, again, Chad's just a nice guy. And he saved up all this money for this trip, and he's probably planning on winning the big ski competition and getting the prize money. I don't know if there's prize money. I'm assuming there's got to be prize money, right? Why else would you enter a ski competition? What, just to be like, I'm the best skier? Maybe. I could see Chad being that kind of guy. But anyways, there's a world champion skier, Rudolph, in the restaurant, and just Chad goes all fanboy and drooling and tries to talk to him, but Rudolph won't give him the time of day. However, another one of the skiers does stop by to talk to Chad, and I'm going to call him Buddy, because he just seems like he's going to be Chad's buddy. And, Buddy just tells him about how Rudolph is just a complete asshole. So, they're gonna... Yeah, end of scene. After dinner, Chad takes Runaway to a cowboy bar where they're having a wet t-shirt contest, which means more titties! And I'm kind of upset that, this YouTube video is, so blurry. We need, a digital remaster, double feature Blu-ray of Hot Dog the Movie and Hamburger The Motion Picture. How has that not been done yet? It just goes together. It's like the double feature of I Eat Your Skin and I Drink Your Blood. Not since that has there been, 2 movies perfectly titled to be made into a double feature. Get on this, Hollywood, or whoever makes DVDs. But, kind of weird date. I don't think it's really a date, but still, just weird to go to a fancy dinner and then go to a wet t-shirt contest at a cowboy bar. A hell of an interesting night, but Runaway's cool with it, so, she's the cool chick from 80s films, So, yeah, I think they're gonna hook up at some point in this movie. Even though she's underage, maybe she'll turn legal before the end of the movie, and then they can hook up, and I'll be fine with that. Back at the motel room, Chad pulls out a guitar, acoustic guitar, and starts playing a song, because of course he does. Fucking Chad. He doesn't do Wonderwall, because it hasn't been written yet, but imagine if Wonderwall was out at this time, he would have performed it, because fucking Chad. But he plays a song that he claims he wrote himself that kind of sounds like John Denver, and probably was a John Denver song. So remember Rules of Attraction, where James Van Der Beek starts playing a Counting Crows song on acoustic guitar and pretends he wrote it, because fucking James Van Der Beek? So I think Chad's doing the same thing. And even though Runaway said earlier she doesn't like country music, she likes the country bar, and she likes his original country song. And quicker than you can say statutory rape, they bang. And it's very blurry, so I don't know if you could actually see her boobs or not in the film, but I'm going to pretend you can't. Because even though I'm sure the actress is well over the age of 18, her character isn't. So it's just too weirded out for me if they actually showed boobs. So I'm going to pretend it was that fancy type of blocking shot where you don't see anything. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Had she been over 18, then I'd be all for it, but just... If a character is under 18, no, she can't show boobs. That's a personal rule of mine. Now it's time for the qualifiers, and Chad skis, and that's pretty much it. So, but we won't find out till tonight who actually qualifies whose times are quick enough to be in the competition. But Buddy introduces Chad to the gang, which are just made up of, like, 80s stereotype. And honestly, I kind of wasn't paying attention, so I don't know who they're... But there's an Asian stereotype that they call kamikaze. And I think, like, I just got so tripped up over, like, kamikaze that I blanked out on paying attention to who the other people are. But yeah, there's a girl and there's a guy with, like, the 80s shades and some other guys. And yeah, I'm just going to refer to all of them as the gang, because I don't really care. I don't think they have separate personalities. They are like a hive mind. They are one person split into like 6. I didn't even count how many people are in the gang. Fuck the gang. The gang decides to hit the slopes to get some skiing in, some recreational skiing, not just the competition skiing. And there, Chad gets to meet Shannon Tweed, who's in a skin-tight ski suit. Oh yeah. I mean, will Chad bang Shannon Tweed? Because, he just banged Runaway. Chad's a nice guy. But I thought he was a nice guy, but he banged Runaway. But she wanted it. Where am I going with this? All I know is Shannon Tweed. This is prime Shannon Tweed, too. Like the 80s. Not to say that current day Shannon Tweed isn't also prime Shannon Tweed, because she still is. Wow. But unfortunately, Rudolph's gang, they muscle in and try to push our gang off to the side. And then lots of skiing footage, and, I find skiing kind of boring. Like, blah, 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 they're skiing, blah, blah, down the mountain, in the snow, blah, blah, blah. One guy flips over. I thought he was doing a cool flip move, but no, he just fell, blah, blah, blah. Sonny Bono hits a tree, and blah, blah. No, that doesn't actually happen in this movie. Although, how ironic would it be if Sonny Bono were in this film? Is it irony? Well, he's not in this film as far as I know, so I guess I don't have to ponder the question of whether or not it'd be ironic seeing Sonny Bono in a film about skiing. They're back at the ski lodge, and the list has been posted. The names of the people who will be in the competition. And everyone in the gang is in, except for a couple of people. And they're very sad. So Buddy marches down to the event organizer's office to find out what the hell's going on, because they are awesome skiers and better than the fucking Europeans that have taken all these spots. And it turns out that the competition has European sponsors, so they need a certain amount of Europeans to be in the competition. And so poor Americans have gotten nudged out. And will this time an American manage to beat the European? Because the Europeans apparently win every year. I'm guessing Chad, he's gonna fucking beat the Europeans. Now, Chad and Runaway are driving to some swank party. I think it's hosted by Shannon Tweed. But they have their first fight because Runaway pops a pill of some sort. And it makes Chad very angry because he's very protective of her because, she shouldn't be doing drugs. Not the least of why, because, she's under 18. Again, I can't stress that enough, that she hasn't hit 18 yet. And she's partying with drugs and Chad fucked her. And I will never stop stressing that. Like, seriously. Why did they make that line of dialogue? Is it going to play at some point in this film? Because it makes me uncomfortable. She's not 18 yet. At the party, Shannon Tweed's flirting with Chad because he's one of the best skiers she's seen in like a very, very long time. Yeah, I'm sure that's completely the sole reason. I'm sure it has nothing to do with his boyish good looks. I don't think Shannon Tweed is quite in cougar territory. This is back in the 80s, so yeah, I don't think she had reached cougar territory yet, but she is older than Chad, at least character-wise, because I'm pretty sure the actor playing Chad is in his 30s, and Shannon Tweed was probably in her 30s. Who knows? Chad might actually be older than Shannon Tweed. Who knows? Because this is the 80s. That's how they do things. But Runaway, she gets jealous because, even though she's pretending that she doesn't care for him and doesn't have feelings for him, she totally does. She's in love. Meanwhile, we see some of the other members of the gang stealing, like, clams and shrimp and other fancy food that they serve at these kind of fancy parties. And one of them even just goes straight up to women and asks them, hey, you want to fuck? Like, seriously. Which, I guess is kind of a good move, really, because then you just automatically, like, cut out anyone who doesn't want to fuck or isn't willing to fuck someone who's that forward. So you're just kind of saving yourself some time. And just, 99% of the women will reject you on that. Put that 1%. Oh, yeah. Decided to do a quick Google search, and yeah, Chad is older than Shannon Tweed by like 6 years, and yeah, he's totally 30 playing. You know what? In fairness, they haven't said what age he is, but I would hope that it'd be like early 20s, his character, because again, Runaway is under 18. No, Hot Dog the Movie, I will not let you forget the fact that you said in your dialogue that she doesn't turn 18 until May or something. I forget. The point is she's not 18 yet. Just, ugh. But, more flirting between, Shannon Tweed and the much older Chad. I guess not that much older, but he's older. The older but not older Chad. And the other members of the gang are trying to talk up women and doing very badly. Kamikaze is speaking in Japanese, and unfortunately, again, because this YouTube video has this weird, like, cutoff on the sides and top and bottom, I don't really know what he's saying because they cut off half the subtitles. Just something about their tits. I think he's telling them that their tits are great and he wants to touch them. Which probably works in Japan because they're kind of like weird there. They have like those used panties vending machine, which is just, I don't know. I guess it's better than, just trying to steal used panties or going up to strange women and being like, can I have your used panties? I don't even know. I didn't mean to like go for an accent. Well, I kind of did, and I don't know where that accent fell. So, apologies to any Japanese or Asian people at all who are listening to this. I really did not mean to be offensive on that. They somehow have had enough in the budget to get Hungry Like the Wolf. And it sounds kind of off, so I don't know if it's quite like a cover or if they kind of sped it up or if it's just because, I don't know if maybe just the YouTube quality, like the timing is a little off. It just sounds kind of off, but it's Hungry Like a Wolf. And you know what? That is money well spent, but why are you throwing it into like the party scene and not using it in the credits? Isn't that the way, like, the most expensive song you have in the film and most well-known song, that is, like, the credits song? I don't know. I don't understand Hollywood, and I understand Hollywood in the 80s even less. Actually, I understand it more. One word. Cocaine. Or is that two words? If you pronounce it cocaine. And don't sue Eric Clapton because that wasn't close enough to the way you pronounce cocaine in that song. Okay, I take it back. Perfect spot for Hungry Like the Wolf because now we've got Shannon Tweedy's. Shannon Tweed's titties. Tweeties. Oh yeah, glorious. It's a good combination. Duran Duran plus tits equals hit film. It equals all sorts of fantasticness. Duran Duran plus tits. That is a winning Hollywood formula right there. And I mean, it's kind of blurry, but I don't mind because I've seen Shannon Tweed's boobs so much I can draw them from memory. Okay, I stole that joke from State and Maine, but I'm guessing that you probably haven't seen that film, so I feel completely confident in stealing that joke. But yeah, tweet Shannon Tweedies. Shannon's Tweedies. I'm still working on something with that. But the key part is, everyone's partying and Shannon Tweed and Chad are boning, and it is fantastic. I love this movie just for that alone. It's Velvet Owl rule number 2. If a film's got Shannon Tweed's tits in it, it is a fantastic film, no matter how horrible the rest of the film is. As a matter of fact, it has to be a horrible film. That's Velvet Owl's rule number 2 of film. A film that has Shannon Tweed's tits in it has to be horrible in all other respects. And then the film loses me. Because Buddy is tending bar, and this hot chick comes up to him. They're kind of flirting, so he's gonna make her a drink in one of those ginormous wine glasses. Which, are those real glasses? Are you supposed to drink wine out of them? Are they gag gifts? And when you see them, no one ever fills them completely with wine. Because at that point, you just may as well just fucking chug out of the bottle. But is there something about, the size of them? Just all that extra space makes the wine taste better? I mean, I'm not a wine connoisseur, so I don't know how it is. And honestly, if I were to drink wine, I probably would just fucking chug it out of the bottle, because fuck that. I chug everything out of the bottle or the carton. Fuck glasses. Who needs glasses? They're just a nuisance. They're just extra dishes to wash. Just fucking chug that wine out of the bottle. But anyhow, it's whatever drink he makes is super strong, and she passes out, and Buddy is like, it worked. And his friend who's there, now there's a woman I could take advantage of. And fuck you. I hate you, date rapist. That's your name now, not Buddy. Although Buddy possibly could be a date rapist. But the other guy, he's a date rapist. And the fact that I can't tell anyone from the gang apart, they're all fucking date rapists to me now. Just, ugh. I understand it's the 80s and that was the cool thing to do, but up to now, this film was doing pretty well in holding up for an 80s comedy. But geez, it's like Revenge of the Nerds all over again. Although they just, all sorts of sexual violations in that film. This, I mean, at least it hasn't happened yet. So, maybe it's just going to stay at a joke about date rape and not any actual, raping going on. And I think the film senses that I'm uncomfortable with this because it cuts straight back to Shannon Tweed titties. And nice try, film, but yeah, Shannon Tweed titties. I'm just going to forget that as long as she doesn't actually rape her, I'll be fine with it because you are giving me just, wow, this scene got bookended with Shannon Tweed titties. It's like they knew, yeah, this scene is kind of questionable, but if we surround it with Shannon Tweed titties, and there's more titties because they're all in a hot tub now, and all the women are topless, and oh no, Runaway is coming, and she's wearing just a towel, which, stay in the towel! You're under 18. Just, again, I am not letting that one go. She is fucking under 18. She better not take off her towel. But I bet she's going to see Chad and Shannon Tweed just boning because they are boning in the hot tub. So yeah, of course she sees Chad and Shannon Tweed boning, and that just upsets her. So she runs off and goes into the sauna. Which Shannon Tweed's house has a fucking sauna as well? Just, wow. Fucking rich people putting a sauna in their house. Fuck that. I was going to say fuck Shannon Tweed, but that could be taken two ways. And I will stand by either way of how you say fuck Shannon Tweed. Like, fuck Shannon Tweed, or fuck Shannon Tweed, oh yeah. But Rudolph and his buddies are in the sauna as well, and Rudolph is just giving off major European rapey vibes, but he's chugging wine out of the bottle, which, I mean, of all the characters to chug wine out of a bottle, the European, that is like insane. But then he starts giving Runaway a massage, and he's gonna totally bang her. We don't see it, but I'm gonna assume that they banged because she's so upset. That's what happens in these films. She gets so upset, she's just gonna give it up to the fucking European. And, it's kind of iffy with the European, with her being under 18, because I'm guessing in his country, he's one of the European countries that the age of consent is 16. So, to him, she's legal, but, they're in America, so she's really not legal. But maybe he doesn't know that? Who am I kidding? It seems like no one in this film fucking cares that she's under 18. But I care! I care! So next morning, the gang's on slopes, drinking Coors, which, you know what? I do not condone drinking and skiing. I'm pretty sure that's how one of the Kennedys died. I don't know, whichever Kennedy hit the tree while skiing. I forget which one it was. But he probably was drunk because he's a Kennedy. And the Kennedys love to drink. So, please kids, do not drink and ski. Just saying, do not drink and ski. Rudolph comes by and, he's all bragging because he banged Runaway. Oh yeah, he did. And that makes Chad upset, which, really, Chad's pretending he doesn't have feelings for Runaway. How he should have responded was, you like my sloppy seconds? Oh yeah. But his boys, they've got his back and they brag about how he boned Shannon Tweed, which makes Rudolph upset. And, with good reason, because if I had to choose between Runaway and Shannon Tweed, I am choosing Shannon Tweed all night long. My God, this episode of the podcast has been like so fucking sexist. Not misogynist. Because you know what? This isn't about hating women. It's just being about a pig and wanting to bang Shannon Tweed. Can you blame me? But, yeah, even if Runaway was of legal age, I still would choose Shannon Tweed. She's hotter. What can I say? I think I'm probably going to lose my last listener. If my last listener is a woman, she's probably going to decide, no more. No more listening to Velvet Owl. So it's time for the competition, at least the first round or whatever. And I guess it's the dance-off competition? I don't know. They're all doing like these sort of dance moves as they're skiing down, which to me seems like it'd be kind of dangerous. Yeah, if you were like bobsledding or race car driving, you wouldn't be trying to do fancy moves at the same time because you could fucking injure yourself, break a neck, ski into a tree like that Kennedy or Sonny Bono. Which, how weird was it that, what was it, like in the span of a couple weeks, they both died hitting a tree while skiing? That was just kind of bizarre. But, it happens. Didn't, Liam Neeson's wife die hitting a tree while skiing? And then he had to, go kill these people who were responsible because he has a special set of skills. And I don't think he had hit, quite action hero status at that point. Was it Liam Neeson's wife or was it Ralph Fiennes? Ray Fiennes. However, fuck you. Fuck you, Ray Fiennes. Your name is spelled Ralph. This is probably the only review of Hot Dog the movie that is gonna bring Ray Fiennes into it. And that is why you love this podcast. This is why this is the best podcast ever. So anyways, they're doing the competition which they like dance and do all sorts of spins and twirls, which I don't know, is that how they do it in the Olympics? Because all I watched from the Olympics are like the opening and closing ceremonies and women's volleyball. Because of course I do, but not gymnastics. I don't watch the gymnastics. You would think that I would watch gymnastics, but also keep in mind, most of like the women's gymnastics team are like under 18. Like the fucking runaway in this film. And I just can't go for that. Women's volleyball, aces. But so they're doing, that reminds me, tonight's the opening ceremonies of the Summer Olympics, so gotta remember to watch that. Because opening ceremonies are fucking awesome. Of course, by the time you're listening to this podcast, this episode, the Olympics are going to be over. But I just felt to bring that up because I like to kill time with random tidbits like that. So, Rudolph, he goes and the starting guy at the top of the mountain tells him, "Good luck." And Rudolph's like, "I don't need luck." I don't know, Rudolph might be German. And, that was kind of a German accent I just did there. But, Rudolph does great. And then Chad comes down and he does even better. Everyone's cheering. But unfortunately, because the judges are European, he gets fucked over and doesn't receive as high scores as Rudolph. Fuck you, European judges. Just fuck you, Europeans in general. Because in Europe, Oasis is still like a massive, huge band. They continue to listen to Oasis after Wonderwall. At least America, for some reason, who generally have no taste, we're like, yeah, we've had our fill of Oasis. It's the one good thing we've done when it comes to music is just deny Oasis. Runaway is packing up her stuff because she's decided she's going to continue on with her original plan of going to San Francisco. It's been fun with this little detour of going to, the ski country. Which, was Chad going to go to San Francisco as well afterwards? Or was he going to go back to his home? I don't know. Now I'm wondering, what direction was he going? Because how far out of his way is San Francisco that he was going to... I imagine it can't be that far, but I almost feel like it would be the opposite direction of where he was going or where he was coming from to go to this ski. Is he originally from San Francisco? I don't know. Anyways, she's decided she's going to go to San Francisco, and Chad's all upset. He doesn't want her to leave, and he's upset that she spent the night at Rudolph, which, she's like, yeah, well, you were boning Shannon Tweed. And she has got a good point. You cannot get mad about her fucking other guys if you're fucking other women. Unless you clearly state the rules beforehand, set the boundaries of, okay, we're fucking each other, but we're also going to fuck other people. But Rudolph is off limits. You can fuck anyone else, just not Rudolph. Had they done that from the beginning, then yes, Chad would be right to get mad. But they never set these boundaries, and he fucked Shannon Tweed, so she is free to fuck Rudolph. But, she leaves because she's upset. I bet she's not going to get to San Francisco. I bet she's going to come back and because she realizes how much she loves Chad, and she's going to cheer him on in the finals, and she's gonna nut punch Rudolph. I mean, most of that is guaranteed to happen. I don't know about the nut punch. I'm hoping for that, but who knows? And then the gang and the Europeans decide to play a game of snow lacrosse, which I don't know really the rules of snow lacrosse, but it seems to be just beat the shit out of each other, which I think is the rules of regular lacrosse as well. Just beat the shit out of each other. Looks like a fun game. If this is an Olympic sport, I will watch it. But I think the Europeans win. I don't know. I wasn't keeping score because they didn't really seem to keep score either. They just kind of beat the shit out of each other and occasionally tossed the puck into the net. Which, as far as I could see, even though they had the lacrosse sticks, I don't think they ever used the lacrosse sticks to score. They all seemed to kind of just toss it with their bare hands. And one guy kind of just ran it into the net. Chad and Buddy managed to break into the Europeans' room and steal something. I'm not sure what. They didn't tell us, but they were all excited about it. Look what we found! Woo-hoo-hoo! So it must be something that the Europeans were using to get a extra edge, and now either the edge will be taken away or our gang will have the new edge. Meanwhile, Runaway, who hasn't apparently left yet, is trying to ski and having trouble. I thought she was going to San Francisco. Why would she take the time to try to ski that I don't think she's ever skied before? So maybe that's it. She just wants the experience, but she's got to know that, Chad's going to probably be on the mountain. So why take the time to stop and ski? Unless she wants to see Chad. But however, Shannon Tweed comes by and just starts making fun of her for being a shitty skier. And then suggests that, maybe she should come over and her and Chad and Shannon Tweed could all have a threesome. Aw, yeah. But Runaway's not into the idea of a threesome. And again, I shouldn't even go, ah, yeah, because she's under 18. She should not be having threesomes. Especially with Shannon Tweed and Chad. Just no. Threesome can be Shannon Tweed's two boobs. They count as two people. And me instead of Chad. So, now it's time for the next round of competition. Some more skiing stuff and blah blah blah. Rudolph gets high scores, and even though Chad does super better than him, he gets low scores because the judges are in the pockets of the Europeans, or they are Europeans, and, everyone's pissed because everyone can see Chad's the great skier star. I mean, everyone except me because I don't understand skiing, so I can't tell who's better than who. It looks like they're all doing the same shit. But Chad banged Shannon Tweed, so that makes him better. Then one of the nerdy members of our gang, the one that's been trying to get laid in a couple scenes, and they kind of just... Wait a minute, I think he was fucking date rapist. Fuck him. So, he gets into the ski lift, one of the car ones, not the chair ones, and this big-tittied girl gets in there with him, and for some reason she's turned on, probably because she doesn't know that he's secretly a date rapist. Okay, and granted, we didn't see him date rape. We don't know that he actually took advantage of the girl that was passed out. But he wanted to. That's enough for me. She's a fucking rapist of unconscious women. Does it even really count? Can it really even be considered date rape? Because they weren't even on a date. So, yeah, he's not a date rapist. He's just a wannabe rapist. Just clear cut. But this big-titted girl is all turned on by him, even though he's got, way too much sunscreen on him. And she goes down on him, and the other guys in the other car can see it, and they go, woo! And they're excited. I don't know how, from their vantage point, they could really see that she went down on him. Maybe maybe the cars are closer than they look. I don't know. I don't care. I'm pissed that rapist here gets a blowjob by a big titted girl that they don't even show her tits. She doesn't pop them out. It looked like they were about to. She's unzipping her shirt, which, you know, I'm glad she didn't take her tits out in the presence of this rapist. Just bad enough that she went down on him. Just fuck him. I don't mean fuck him, just... He's a fucking rapist. You know, couldn't Big Titty Girl go down on Kamikaze? I would have been happy for him. Or the one girl member of the gang that kind of just is in the background. Or Shades, the guy whose entire personality is just wearing shades. Or like the two other guys that don't even have a personality. They're just all in the background. You know, this gang just, they don't really get into many hijinks. We just know that fucking rapist here, wannabe rapist, gets a blowjob. It's the final event, and there's more skiing stuff going on, and, you know, again, I don't know. I guess some people are doing really good, and Chad does some flips that are supposed to be, I guess, superhuman, amazing acrobatic feats, because they're in slow motion, and there's really dramatic music, and there's no way he could lose, right? Because it's just so amazing. The crowd sees it. Stevie Wonder could see it. Other blind people could see it. They will read it in Braille. I don't know what I'm saying. Just, as you can guess, Rudolph wins because of the fucking... I don't know why I was going to say terrorist judges. They're not terrorists. They're just European, I think. Or they're paid off. Whatever. Fucking judges. They're in the pocket of Rudolph. So Rudolph has won the competition. But there's still like 20 minutes left in this. So I'm going to guess, you know, Rudolph and Chad are going to go one-on-one. Winner takes all. Winner bangs runaway. Even though she's fucking under 18. But Rudolph doesn't care because he's European. And Chad is a nice guy, but just... he likes young poontang. Although he's banged Shannon Tweed as well. So I think it should be winner gets the trophy and Shannon Tweed, not the underage girl. Just my opinion. Which really, like, that's actually kind of really, like, fucked up for me to kind of just be like, hey, winner wins the lady. Like, she's a fucking trophy. No, she will be with whoever she wants to be, as is her right. She probably just wants to be with the winner. So, in effect, it works out that way. Our gang does get a little bit of revenge by pelting the Europeans with snowballs. Because, you know, it snows around, might as well go for it. And, you know, things are tense, and they're to head. So Rudolph is going to get challenged for a one final match against Buddy. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because Buddy probably has the larger history against Rudolph, but come on. Chad's the hero of our picture. So, current guess. Buddy gets injured, and Chad steps in and kicks Rudolph's ass and shoves a ski up Rudolph's ass. Okay, probably not that last part, but I'm fairly confident on the rest of my prediction. So the winner takes all contest is a race between, I guess, every competitor in the contest, which means it's not quite as, like, dramatic as if it were just like a one-on-one competition. But it also does make it more exciting because apparently, I guess the rules do allow for just knocking down your opponents. Which is pretty badass. I would watch skiing if, like, that was part of it. If you could just beat the shit out of each other. It's like that game Road Rash, where it was a motorcycle race, and you could just beat the shit out of your opponents with chains and lead pipes. And that was awesome, and I don't know why that didn't continue on to be, like, a whole, like, franchise. So that was a cool concept. So, but it comes down to Chad and Rudolph as you might have guessed, and just so close, but Chad wins, and everyone's excited except for Rudolph and Runaway, who still has not gone to San Francisco. She was going to San Francisco. She was still mad, but apparently she had to stick around to make sure Chad wins, and she's happy, and she's still underage, so god damn it. But at least they didn't drag it out. Like, Chad wins, and they celebrates, and that's the end of the movie. So, sometimes they kind of can drag, like, these movies out with a epilogue that we don't really need. So, even though we don't find out what's going to happen to Shannon Tweed, is she still wanting to bang Chad some more times, or was it like a once and done deal? What's it going to be like when Runaway turns 18? When's her birthday? Is it going to happen? So, I don't know. As far as like the 80s raunchy sex comedies go, this one didn't age too badly. Could have done without the attempted rape joke. At least he didn't actually try it on screen, at least as far as we could tell. So it was just a tasteless joke, but they could have cut it and cut the line about Runaway not being 18 yet, or at least have her birthday party before she bangs Chad. Something like that didn't sit right. Otherwise, good amount of titties and a good amount of bad jokes. So it could be worse, but if you like 80s raunchy comedies and like to see titties, then this is a good film to check out. But if you don't want to, at least I watched it so you don't have to. Bringing it back to the title. Yeah, so velvetale@hotmail.com, or comment in the comment section if there's a comment section where you're listening this to. Let me know what you think. Give a shout out if you're like the one person listening to it. Give a suggestion on what you want to see me do or hear me do, because you're not really seeing me actually watch the movies. You're just listening to me ramble on about it. But till next time, avoid bad movies like the plague. Unless they've got titties. Then watch the titties like the plague. That doesn't make sense, but that's my new catchphrase. Watch titties like the plague.